Joining us today is Ken Hardin of InConcert Sierra. InConcert Sierra has spent years bringing world-class music and performing arts experiences to Nevada County while supporting arts education and cultural programs throughout the community. Ken joins us to discuss the Crown Point Venues project in Grass Valley, a proposed performing arts and community venue designed to expand opportunities for concerts, theater, events, and local gatherings in the region. Welcome, Ken. It's great to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So I know that InConcert is centered on classical music, and you have some other, types of music. But in your spare time, do you listen to AC/DC, or what other kind of music do you like to listen to?
That's an interesting question
Okay.
that people often ask
Oh,
me.
they do. I'm sorry.
And no, it's fine. The honest answer is that I actually don't listen to music just to listen very much. If I do, I listen to jazz often.
Okay.
I listen
A close cousin.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. It's we were in the classical music world. We really think of jazz as kind of a very close next door neighbor to classical music. So, and then actually, I also listen to older rock and roll, 70s, 80s. That kind of thing.
When you were a wee tyke.
When I was a wee tyke.
Yes,
indeed.
yes, I get it.
And so often, often on a road trip or something, I'll pass the time by listening to Joe Walsh or whatever. So I have pretty broad tastes in music. Good. I love Broadway also. But the reason that I typically don't listen to music much is that it's hard for me to turn off the analytical side of my brain. And so when I'm listening to music, which I do a lot at work, I'm constantly analyzing what's going on.
You're working.
When I'm conducting, I'm listening for balance and what I need to do to address rhythmic integrity in the music and all those things that are really conscious parts of a musician's brain and have to be. And because we practice doing that so much, it's hard to turn it off. And so when I'm listening to music and that's going on, it's not really relaxing and just enjoyment.
Yes.
I enjoy my job a lot.
Yes.
But it's not exactly relaxing.
Yeah, you need a change.
So
I get that. I'm a journalist. I do the same thing.
To like quiet.
Yeah.
Much of the time.
Yeah.
And I listen to music a fair amount when if I'm listening to an artist that's submitted that wants to come and perform on our series. I'll listen to that, but then again, I'm analyzing to see if they meet the standard that I hold for.
That's so interesting.
Series.
Yeah,
So,
Joe Walsh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I love Joe Walsh.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there are a whole bunch that I love. I love Beatles, the later Beatles particularly, when their music really got much more interesting and complex. And
more involved instead of the three note wonder that
I still love. I want to hold your hand.
Who doesn't? Right?
So,
who doesn't? That's so fun.
Yeah.
Well, we'd love to hear more about, I know you probably are always asked, how's the fundraising going? Because the project, for people who don't know, and I don't know how anyone could not know because, you guys are so embedded and ubiquitous in the community, which is wonderful.
Right. It is wonderful. And we have people just out of the blue ask us, seemingly somehow connect us with it, even though we don't necessarily know who they are.
Right.
When I say we, I mean Julie and I.
You and your wife, Julie, who's your partner in
the business.
And the center of this the lead, the center, the heartbeat of this project, which is ambitious. I mean,
it is. I use the word audacious.
Audacious.
Actually, it's a little bit beyond ambitious.
Yeah. Does it ever terrify you?
Sure. Yeah. I think all of us that are involved in it deeply. Terrified might be a little bit of a strong word, but it definitely keeps us all awake at night occasionally.
Sure, of course. How could it not?
Yeah.
I know what it's like to feel so deeply about something and just want to lift it up with your will.
Right.
And make it.
And that's what it kind of feels like sometimes. Yes. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people imposing their will on this beast.
An impressive group. You have a wonderful board. I know several members on there, so hardworking and so passionate and sincere, authentic about the work. So that makes a big difference when it comes across to the average person. Do you know what I mean? It translates.
I think it gives the community a lot of confidence to see the commitment and the level of understanding that the board has and all the people around us that have of the magnitude of what we're doing.
Yeah, most impressive.
Yeah.
So how's the fundraising going?
Back to the question, yes.
How's it going?
So the fundraising has gone really well, and it continues to go well. We're at a point now where when we began this project, the intent was to renovate the concert hall, which was the part of it that InConcert really wanted to have, and we wound up with this huge building and figured out that we could put more in there than just a concert hall. We really had to put more in there. So the original plan was to phase the project, renovate the concert hall first, begin using the other parts of the building as a conference center and a black box theater, but in the state they were in, just making do with them. And so even at that point, with our projections about fundraising, we knew that at a certain point we would need bridge financing to get us through as the fundraising continued. And so the fundraising kind of has two tracks. There's the track of people making pledges, which are typically larger gifts that are spread out over 4 or 5 years.
Right.
And then there are one-time gifts, which we have had some very substantial one-time gifts, but typically it's a little bit smaller gifts. And so with the pledges particularly, because they are coming in over a period of time, we knew that we were going to need more funds in a shorter term than the pledges were going to provide.
Because they were extended over time.
Exactly.
I got
it. So we knew we were going to need that bridge financing, and we felt like we had that pretty well locked in. So then, of course, the story that everybody knows is that 36 hours after we signed the papers and bought the building, we were in the middle of Snowmageddon 2, when most of the swath of the county over the Sierras had buildings collapsing and roof collapsing, and we were one of those. So that completely changed the project and made it so that we had to address the entire building to stabilize it and salvage it and get it weatherproof. And there was no point doing that and putting the building back in the same configuration it had been when we were going to raise the roof for the black box theater and do all these things. So it became a full project, which made it go from about a $10 to $12 million project to what we thought would be a $24 to $25 million project. As we're going to banks now for fundraising, they're telling us they want to consider it a $27 to $28 million project, because when a bank lends money for a project like this, their main focus with the construction loan is to be sure there's enough money to get it done.
Right.
So that we can start making money and pay them back. We had an interview with a banker just yesterday, and he was very funny. He said, when we look at financing for a project like this, we ask 3 questions. How are you going to pay me back? How are you going to pay me back? And how are you going to pay me back? Which I thought was great.
Fair enough.
And of course, that's what they want to know.
Right.
So we continue with the fundraising. It continues to go really well. The community has been very generous. We still have things going on up at the building construction-wise, but not nearly at the pace we will when we have the funding to go full bore. When we get that funding, it'll be about a year left. Most of that time is in the concert hall. It's by far the most complex part of the project.
Right.
So we continue fundraising. We're confident that when we have that fundraising, when we have the financing in place, the fundraising will really kick back up. That we know there are people that are waiting to see that we get the financing and are going to get to that finish line. Which
and then
also makes
perhaps
sense.
the donations will go up because the donors as well will have that confidence.
Right.
Oh gosh,
we're very so it's kind of
complicated.
It's an awkward catch-22.
Yes,
to be in, and it's a frustrating moment. Those are the sleepless nights moments that happen for all of us. But we're confident that we will get there. There's so much momentum. what we've done so far already, everyone said was impossible when we started in. We've raised over $12 million in the community, and we had we had a grant from the state of California that we've mostly spent. They hold back a little bit until we get our occupancy permit. So there's about, I think, about 20% that we'll collect at the very end. And then we had insurance money from the roof collapse. So we have put about $15 million into the building already. And, and we've gone to, we went to the banks initially with a $10.25 million ask, and that's where what I was saying before they came. We've talked to several banks. They've all come back and said your ask needs to be at about $12 million.
Right.
Just not that you have to spend all that money. Right. We just want to know that there's enough money approved up front that will absolutely. They want a big cushion so they know we can get them, which totally makes sense.
Business. It's business. Yeah. Okay, so good luck with that, and tell us.
That's a big question.
Tell
Sorry,
us about,
that was a very long.
No,
answer.
but that really was a great synopsis. So tell us about the new season. What's going on?
The new season for In Concert Sierra. Our season runs from September through May, and in September of 2026, the first concert of our season, we typically start with an orchestra concert. I'm purposely waiting until we get in the new hall to put our orchestra together again and perform in there, because it's I can't bring myself to do it elsewhere.
I know.
So in September we're going to have a new a cappella vocal ensemble, a mixed ensemble, so it's men's and women's voices, and the name of the group is Aeternum. It's the Latin word for eternity. And they are a composite group. It's a larger group than most of the a cappella vocal groups, which typically are 6 to 10 voices, something like that. Right. So this is more 18 to 20 voices. And they're drawn from all of the really well-known smaller a cappella vocal groups around the globe. Like Voces 8, the Tallis Scholars, Chanticleer, which is right here in San Francisco in our backyard. Yep. Groups like that. Right. And
that sounds fantastic.
If I can take a minute, I have a fun story about that. So we've had Cantus is one of the vocal groups we've had. We've had Voces 8. They were here not last Christmas, but the Christmas
they're
before.
Fantastic.
They were just amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad you know of them. And just lots of those groups over the years. So one of the singers in this new group, Aeternum, was part of the group that sang with Voces 8 when they were here about a year and a half ago. And when they were putting this new group together, and she was invited to be one of the people joining it, she told the artistic director that she thought that they should get in touch with In Concert Sierra up in the foothills here. And they're kind of focusing, their headquarters is around Napa in California, even though they're drawing singers from all over the world.
Not a bad place to gather.
Exactly. Right. So the young man who is the artistic director reached out to me, told me about it, and that they would love to get a booking up here in their first season if it was possible, and invited us to their first concert, which was last September. And we were available. We had a wonderful trip up to Seattle, which we began with a concert in a Broadway show down in Sonoma, ironically, and then drove up to Seattle to visit friends, and then came back about 10 days later. And at the end of the trip, we went to see Aeternum in Napa.
Wow, sounds terrible.
I know, yeah, what a life. And they were just spectacular.
I can't wait.
It's just amazing. So they'll be September 13th. Okay. It's not going to be the third Sunday because that didn't work for them.
Right.
So we were able to
make it work.
The second Sunday. That's one of the things I'm really looking forward to with this new building, is not being locked into the not just the third Sunday day, but Sundays in general. because at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, their Sabbath is from Friday night to Saturday night.
Right.
And so nothing else can happen in
Sure.
the sanctuary. So we can never do a show on a Friday night or a Saturday night, which in show business is a handicap.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
looking forward to having a lot more
yeah.
dates. So September 13th at Ternum, and then October we have, I get them confused sometimes. We have a young man that's a pianist that, oh no, I think he's November. October is a group called the Valencia, and that's referring to Valencia, Spain, because they're from Spain. The Valencia Baritone Project, which is a concert featuring a trio, and the focus of the trio is this instrument called the baritone. We hear the word baritone typically related to a male voice. This is an instrument that is a cross between an old instrument called a viol de gamba and a Spanish and Moorish influenced instrument called the liron, and sort of like a cello. It's played similarly to a cello, but it has cello has 4 strings, just like all the string family in orchestral music. So the baritone has 10 strings, and then 4 strings on the back of the instrument. So the 10 strings are on the front of the instrument.
On the back of the
and
neck?
On the back of the neck, there are strings that are sympathetic with the strings on the front.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
And they're plucked with the thumb.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a really complex instrument and difficult to play.
Sure.
So there are about 10, no more than 10 people in the world that play this instrument.
Yeah.
And this guy is that is in this trio is one of those experts on the baritone.
Well,
so that's going to be a really interesting.
That's very
concert.
cool. Sign me up on that one. So can they go to your website and see the whole season?
Yes.
And,
yeah.
okay.
Absolutely.
So I know this is getting long, and there's 2 more things. One is recently, my husband and I went to the Museum of Musical Instruments in Phoenix.
In Phoenix, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Isn't that a wonderful museum?
It blew our minds, and we went 2 days. It was so amazing. So I wonder if that instrument was there.
It might have been.
Yeah,
it might have been.
Okay, so what if someone wants to donate $2.5 million to InConcert Sierra's project?
Well, the first thing is we won't say no.
Where do they go? Who do they talk to?
Really, anybody, the staff.
The URL for donations and for the schedule is inconcert.org?
Yeah, inconcert.org or InConcert Sierra.
InConcert Sierra, okay.
Or crownpointvenues.com.
Okay.
Either one.
All right.
And either you could contact the office and ask to talk to Julie or me, or really any board member. If you come to a concert and you want to talk to somebody about what the fundraising opportunities are, about the pledging program is still going on. We're still doing pledges that are stretched out over time.
Right.
We love it when people want to put us in their estate planning. Those gifts over the years, we had a couple of excellent estate gifts, bequests that really carried us through the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then had one major gift in the process of planning this project that allowed us to buy the building outright for cash.
Wow.
Which was what really
people
let us get started.
People believe in you. So we're going to keep up on this.
Good.
And 2.5 million, I feel it.
Okay. Coming on. Thank you for
You're welcome.
doing that here.
You're welcome. It's wonderful to have you. So
Thank
interesting.
you so much.
Thank you.